Hey, Happy New Year. I don't know what's going on. We got music playing. There it goes. I don't know how that happened. What's up, everybody?
Cheers, all. Good to see everybody
Oh,
tonight.
wait. I'm sorry. I know what's going on. Golly, you think I'd never live streamed before?
Oh, I don't hear music coming through.
I had two YouTubes open. That was my bad. So I'm just sitting here talking to myself. I apologize, everybody. Happy
Like
New
a
Year.
rookie.
Look who's joining us. What's up, Joe?
Hey, I'm back. I'm finally
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, it's good to have you back, man. I know you've been super busy with the distillery, but it sounds like things are going amazing. So super excited for you, man.
Yeah, I'm excited to be back. Glad to be finally on a live stream. I actually made a board meeting yesterday for the first time in like 6 months, which was great. And yeah, this year is shaping up. It looks like that's my New Year's resolution. My goal is to be back with everybody every month, get back on Discord, and get back in the community. I'm excited for it.
Heck yeah, man. Well, I'm glad you're able to take time and get the distillery going, and we're super excited for you. Josh, how are you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. I was under the weather through the holidays. Nothing major, just a cold, but boy, it really messed me up. I don't know if I'm just getting old and it's hitting harder or what, but or the colds have been lifting weights these days. I'm not sure what's going on, but I got my health back and I woke up feeling good today, and that's good enough for me. So I am proud of this guy right here. I got to say, he's not going to toot his own horn too much, but he's been talking to me, checking in, calling, letting me know how things have been going. And he is pursuing a dream that is, and it's going better than he expected it to. He's killing it. And I mean, his community there in Ohio is showing up for him. People are responding. You do good work and people respond, and so that's what's happening. And if anybody knows Joe, if you've met Joe, you know that he is a guy that puts his everything into what he's doing. So super proud of you, brother. I'm glad to have you back on too.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm just super excited to be back in the community and looking forward to the next few months. And we mentioned it, I guess, last night during our board meeting, but we're about to start year 3 of Barrels for Hope. Like, that blows my mind.
Yeah.
I know, man. We blinked and all of a sudden we had 2 years down. It's really crazy.
I remember, yeah, would be over 2 years ago, Josh talking to us during our meetings, and then the first couple live streams talking about the runway, right? Like, we've got some path on the runway, but it'll take off eventually, and it has. So
yeah. Well, we're excited to talk to you guys tonight. We're going to go over some year-end event stuff. We locked down another pick we're going to tell you guys about. Before I flip it over to Joe for some news, I will tell you guys, every month Narav and A1 donate bottles to us that we can use in the auction, and they raise extra money for charity. So huge shout out to A1 and Narav as always. But the 3 bottles for this month were Elijah Craig Barrel Proof A125, a Heaven Hill Ride to Grain, and an Eagle Rare.
That's awesome. We can't really say enough for Narav, and now being on the producer and retailer side, knowing that side of it, what he's done for us is even more amazing, and everyone give him props and thank for that.
Yeah, because what we raise in the auction last year, like 12 grand or something.
Oh yeah,
something like that. So
and not only that, it's just giving up. I mean, he's running a business and he's giving up profit margin on every barrel we do.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So Joe, you want to? I'll just throw it over to you, and you can fill everybody in on what's coming down the pipe.
Yeah, awesome. Super excited about barrel picks coming up. We got a couple updates here. First is Bardstown, we're notified, is in distribution somewhere along the path. So if it does not get here in the next few weeks, if it's not ready, want everyone to be aware that all active members up through that pick with at least 2 months in are going to get that pick. So if we get into the year 3 We still don't have it yet. It's delayed. And for whatever reason, someone moves on or whatever, if they had those 2 months for that pick, you are going to get that bottle. So we will have everyone locked in at the end, and don't worry about that. Everyone will get their Bardstown bottle that was the member of that time. We want to make sure we're supporting our community, and you guys get the bottles that you are deserved of. Coming up as a reminder, Still Austin poll is open. I think it's open through Saturday. Is that right, Lance?
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, through Saturday. So be a super awesome opportunity. I really, really wish I could be there. I would love to be down there and see what those folks are doing. If you have any ability to go on that pick, because I think there was still a spot or two left, jump on the poll. That's on Discord. Is that correct? Or
yeah.
Patreon?
Patreon. It's on Patreon.
Oh, it's on Patreon. Okay. So jump on Patreon, check it out. If you have any availability, please mark that if you have availability that you can go. Because we want to make sure we don't hold up a spot for someone that can't go. But that would be an amazing opportunity to get down there. And then also, this will be a big announcement. We haven't announced the other one yet, have we?
Nope.
I'm excited for this. So this really excites me. There's been a lot of new developments in this brand over the last few months, and that is a Knob Creek Cast Strength Rye pick. We are waiting on the dates, but Jim Beam's been doing a lot of stuff recently with Knob Creek. They've come out a lot of different releases. Their 10-year rye, I'm a big fan of. That was super great. Not sure. I've heard some pretty good ages of the cast strength rye barrels that are going into their picks right now. So everyone should be super excited about that. When we have dates, we will let everyone know and get that rolling for the poll as well. But super awesome. Knob Creek cast strength rye pick is.
We're looking at April, by the way.
April. Okay. So April, we don't have the dates locked down. But check your calendars and block off some time in April if you can get down there to Kentucky. That's going to be super fun. I've done a Knob Creek pick, and it's pretty awesome. Let's see.
I remember you saying being there in person was really cool. Like picking at Beam is something special.
Yeah, it was great because I mean the facility is awesome. I mean it's historic. Yeah, Paul, the Green River pick is great, man. But being in the warehouse, you're doing the pick in the warehouse when we were there just recently within the last 6-7 months on the pick. They take you into the experimental distillery. You get to fill a barrel and you get to see some other stuff. They were actually running Bookers in there when we walked through, and we got to try Bookers right off the still. That was pretty awesome. New make Bookers. That was pretty cool. So and then they usually feed you. You go to the kitchen afterwards and they'll usually feed you and all kinds of cool stuff. So that'll be awesome.
Yeah, Jeff, that's a new thing Knob Creek's doing this year. It is going to be actual cast strength. It will not be watered down to 120 proof. So I think we're one of the first Knob Creek rye cast strength picks that's going. So
yeah, that's going to be pretty awesome. That's a big deal. Super awesome for the group and everyone. Did we want to talk about the other thing?
The other thing.
We'll hold off on that.
Yeah, we can hold off on that. We're working on stuff behind the scenes for you guys. Always working on stuff.
Always working on something. So
we'll say that those are probably going to be the only 2 ryes we do for the year. So
yeah. That's what I was going to say. We happened into these 2 ryes, both great ryes. If you've never had a really good Still Austin rye pick, incredible whiskey, and then like take out the age, take out Texas, take out all that. It's just incredible. And then those Knob Creek rye picks, to me, the biggest beef I had with them is that they were watering them down. And now that they're cast strength, I'm super excited about them. So that's going to be really cool. And then we have 4 or 5 or 6 bourbon targets in the background that we're working on securing. So stay tuned. we're working on it for you guys. Can't wait. Hopefully by next month we'll have some stuff to announce in regards with that.
I did some begging and pleading today, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
I remember, like, I didn't used to be a single barrel Knob Creek Rye fan. There was about a year and a half, really like 2 years ago. To me, they were really herbally, really citrusy, really lemony. Just wasn't my flavor profile. But probably the last 5 or 6 that I've tried, cast strength or single barrels, especially they've got a little more age on them. They're floating in that 8, 9, 10 year range. And they've got some really good dark sugar notes, some really, I guess you would say more of a bourbon drinker's rye, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. The last time we went on a Knob Creek Rye pick, which was just maybe 6-7 months ago, everything they brought out was 7+ years. So it's getting up there for the age. So it's exciting.
Yeah. Well, speaking of exciting, I'll go ahead and move into annual event. Kim was not sure she was going to make it, but she had some client stuff going on tonight. So I'm going to do my best here, but cut me some slack, guys. I'm no Kim. But the annual event signups are up and out there. Make sure you check in over on Patreon. They're out there. Sign up if you're going to be a part of it. We only have so many spots available. So it's not the sort of thing that you want to wait on. The price is $250 per ticket, which is $150 less per ticket than last year, which is really nice. So now if you're coming with a significant other, $500 for the two of you instead of $800. So that's super helpful. The hotel rate is astoundingly good.
Oh my God. I couldn't believe it. Especially for Nashville.
Actually checked the link twice to make sure I wasn't clicking on. I was like, wait a minute, is this Nashville? I couldn't believe it. And we have a block of rooms there as well. So make sure you're getting on this stuff early. For the tickets, you can choose to do one payment or split it into 2. I'm not sure when we'll get those invoices out, but it's not going to obviously be January. It'll probably be February when we will get those out. And then if you're going to do 2, it'll probably be like February and March or something like that. So just as far as what to expect there. But Brian is dealing, he's got some personal stuff going on with a loss of a family member. So keep him in your prayers. But he can communicate with you if you need to. Ask him any questions about when invoices are coming out. Hit him up. Just give him some some time to respond. So, and I think that's about it for the annual event. No new news as far as what's going to be happening. We're setting up some, as we've mentioned, we're setting up some stuff during the day on Saturday. That is like kind of a pay your own way, attend if you would like, or you don't have to if you don't want to. I mean, if you're coming with a significant other and you guys want to kind of go around Nashville and do your own thing, you're more than welcome to do that. But for everyone that does want to do something, we're setting something up Saturday afternoon. If you're in town Friday, we'll probably do something Friday afternoon as well, prior to the bottle share and all that stuff. So, keep your eyes peeled for information on that. But yeah, the stuff Friday night is locked in. The bottle share is going to be incredible. The space we have at this hotel is amazing. And as the bourbon engineer can attest to, it's attached to one of the very best liquor stores in the Middle Tennessee area. So, you're going to be able to do some bourbon hunting while you're here, and that'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, we'll have some glassware there for everybody. If you want to grab a Glencairn or rocks glass like this, you can. Both of these, we'll have these at the annual event. We'll just take your name down and invoice you for it after the fact. So yeah, all kinds of good stuff. And yes, I will start that.
Yeah, Paul. Yeah, that's a good idea to start a sub channel for that. Also, I was thinking about this today because I saw Liz posted in Patreon that, she's got a fear of heights. So like there just aren't any hotels that aren't 2 stories. So unfortunately she can't make it up to a lot of stuff. We need to, we'll figure out something, but we need to figure out some way where we can, groups of people can go down and visit with Liz, or maybe she can, I don't know, hold part of a bottle share or something. I don't know. We'll talk about it, but I want Liz to be a part of it, because last year she was in her room a lot, and I wanted her to be part of everything. So we'll figure it out, Liz, if you're watching this. But we'll get you involved.
Yeah, for sure.
Liz is awesome too. If you've never met her, she's a hoot.
Oh yeah.
All right. What else do we got?
You ripped through everything. That was
yeah, good. We talked about it on the board meeting. We didn't have like a ton tonight for you guys. But we do want to taste this Green River pick. Hopefully you guys are getting your bottles. So
yeah, so real quick for everyone that's on here, I just went in and updated last year's. It was the 2024 annual event. I just updated it to Barrels for Hope annual event. So there is now a subsection, and all the posts, it's just a continuation of last year. So it'll be kind of cool to have all that stuff in one spot and kind of serve over time as a good, look back, as far as like, I'm just scrolling real quick, and it's so cool to see the photos, some of the photos from last year, just a little trip down memory lane. So that's already done on Discord.
Awesome. Cool. Well, guys, I can tell you a little bit about this pick that we did at Green River. And
hey, Lance, real quick.
Yep.
I didn't have this on my notes, but we've got Brian and Ben asking about this. The move away from Patreon. We're working on it. We are.
Oh yeah, there we go.
We are not website people, but we're getting by with a little help from our friends. But we're working on it. We hoped that it would be this month. It's not going to be, but hopefully February or March. Technically, March will be, if we can get it done by March at the latest, that will put us as the entirety of year 3. Because for those that don't know, we started this in February, and technically, there was some runway to get it started, but we opened up membership in February, so we're on like a February to February schedule. So we might end up capping out year 2 here on Patreon, and then after that we'll switch over to a little bit more of like the newsletter style Discord chat, and yeah, we're trying to build a system to where we don't have to manually manage people's membership. People are able to go in there and manage themselves if they need to update their billing, or if they need to drop down a tier, or if a spot opens up and people want to jump up a tier, all that stuff. We're trying to build all that in. And yeah, stay tuned. We're working on it. We appreciate you guys asking about it, because I know that means you're tuned in and you're listening for it, which is that's exactly what we asked prior, to be ready for communications. So thank you for bringing that up, guys. Appreciate that.
We had originally shot for January, but I don't know why we shot for January with the holidays being what they are, as crazy as it is.
Yeah, that was just really poor foresight on our part.
Well, unless you have like a dedicated IT team, doing any kind of changes of this scope to a website or processes, it takes a while. Which, by the way, we do not have a dedicated IT team, if anyone is wondering.
Right. Yeah. We've got volunteer membership help, so that's where we're at here.
But we're on the right path. We are working on it. It'll be done pretty soon. Like Josh said, I would it would be nice by March. Then we're starting year 3, which is crazy to always hear and say.
Year 3.
That's
year
crazy.
3. I remember people saying this wouldn't last a year.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember thinking how crazy it sounded when Josh first called me about it.
I remember almost not even calling Josh.
I remember Lance telling me he wanted to do 12 picks a year, and I was like, "Whoa, too many. Let's bump it down."
I'm a dreamer, Josh.
Yeah, membership dues through the roof. I mean, let's all quit our jobs and just do this.
God, could you imagine? That would have been so impossible.
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
Luckily,
that's why you have a board and you run ideas by a bunch of people. Put a,
Luckily, I had at that point in time, I had just done enough picks to realize just how challenging distribution is. And I was like, man, I don't like 6 gives us room to space things out. And it gives us some leeway for distribution to do what they do and us still not put ourselves in a bind. I don't know how we would have managed 12.
Yeah, we really, I mean, really right out of the gate, we nailed it doing 6 because that's been, I mean, it's been a lot of work, but it hasn't been like impossible to do, you know. It's
well, and this community made it a lot easier on us to do.
Yeah,
just the support is just amazing, especially like you're talking about now with the website changeover and trying to move away from Patreon. Just we've got enough people out there that have some special skills in each area where it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and we always have enough people show up at the packing parties, so that which really helps because we could be there. I mean, I remember the first packing party. I think it took us 4.5 hours, and last Saturday we got it done in 1 hour and 10 minutes. We were,
and then they spent the other 3 hours and change just sitting around drinking the pick and talking and hanging out.
That's exactly right. We ate lunch and we sat there for 3 or 4 hours just BSing.
Yeah. That's the thing. You come to the packing party, you are going to do a little work, but you're going to be tasting the pick on the front wave, and you're going to be tasting it with friends, and you can't beat that. So,
and we did get to taste some Jack Daniel's single barrel picks from Coy Hill. So that was pretty. Pretty good.
Whoa.
There you go. Yeah. Packing party has benefits.
It does. It does.
Don't skip on it if you can get there.
That's great.
So this Green River pick is wild, and we were talking about this backstage before we popped on. Lance, when you guys picked this, and I'd love for you to give a little bit of the background on the pick. I think we all saw the video, and if you didn't, it's posted on Discord and it's on the channel. Just go to the Barrels for Hope YouTube channel. But I remember you got a sample from then, and this always happens. It's like what you taste on the pick, and you think you'd get caught up in the moment and all that would build it up, and then you would taste what's bottled and it just wouldn't live up to the memory of the pick. But somehow it feels like every pick is just somehow better once it's been bottled or something. I don't know if it sits around for another month or whatever, but
yeah, I mean, it did go up over 1 proof point, which isn't basically anything, but yeah, it really does taste better. It tastes better than when we had it in the hotel. And Top Dog can probably comment because he helped. He was on this pick, and he loves Green River and is a Green River aficionado if there ever was one. But they brought us 4 barrels, and everyone was in instant agreement. We didn't know the ages, we didn't know the proofs or anything like that. So, but everyone was in agreement on which barrel we threw out first. And the barrel we threw out first was the oldest. It was 6 years, and it was really sharp and ethanol forward, and just didn't feel very balanced. And the guy from Green River he laughed when we threw it out. He's like, everybody's been throwing our older stuff out. It's like, for whatever reason, that 5 years, what really, really hits perfect. Now it'd be interesting. I was telling Joe in the green room to see if year 6, year 7, year 8, if those notes started to round out and it started to go back to being good. But for whatever reasons, the 6 year was not very good, and we really narrowed it down to 2 barrels. And everyone blinded it, and I think everyone picked the same barrel, which was this one. And on the day of the pick, it was more caramel, kind of corn forward to me, but now it's really got these fruity kind of Buffalo Trace characteristics to me that I was not picking up on the pick. It's really fantastic though.
Yeah, and I'm not picking up any real grain notes.
No.
And it's really interesting that he said that, about their older barrels, because like I was telling Lance backstage too, that I had the similar experience with Wilderness Trail. So I don't know if anybody else has had this, but when they just came out with their 4-year yellow label wheated bourbon, I mean, it was one of my first loves. And then they came out with a 5-year and a 6, or they came out with a 6-year and maybe the 8-year. And those just didn't hit with me as well as that classic good old 4-year wheated did, which is strange for a wheated bourbon, but
Yeah, Paul, that's a very fair statement considering Top Dog doesn't like Disco 12. But oh, so this is up here. That's up there with his favorites, huh? That's awesome, man.
I'm almost getting, especially on the nose, I don't know if it's the way that the sweetness is coming across or it's the barrel, but I'm almost getting like this almost like gooey caramel, borderline butterscotchy type of thing on it. There's like a little twang on there that's different than I think any Green River pick I've ever had before. And it reads really nice.
I'm getting a little bit of butteriness on it, but I'm actually, and I don't usually pick up a lot of fruit notes on bourbon, but I'm really agreeing with Lance. I'm getting a lot of fruit notes out of it.
Yeah, it just kind of reminds me of Mash Bill 1 from Buffalo Trace. I'll be interesting to taste it at 130 proof. I have an E.H. Taylor barrel proof up there that I'm going to taste against it, see if my memory is treating me right or if I'm crazy. And I'm not saying it's as good as E.H. Taylor barrel proof, but it's reminding me of that.
A similar type of sweetness.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
It is. If it had, like for me, if it had some more sweet oak on top of it, like give me that, sweet fruit notes, kind of like jammy, dark stewed fruit notes up front, and then round me out with some nice sweet oak. That'd be just about the perfect bourbon for me.
Yeah, it's really good, man. I'm super excited with the way it turned out.
I think one thing I really like about this thing is like there is a nice play between the spice and the sweetness. It's not all sweet, it's not all spice. You kind of get both of those. And I really enjoy that. Like when the pour can do both at the same time without getting too heavy-handed on either one, but also without either one like dying out or taking second fiddle. I really enjoy that. I did just put a few drops of water in here just because, it never hurts to try. So I'm curious to see what that does to it.
Yeah, and I was surprised. I took my first sip and I was like, oh, okay. It's been a couple of months since I've had a 130 proofer. A lot of the cast strength stuff we've been bringing in is mid 1-teens. And, but the more you got into it, I'm like, man, it is drinking really nice and well-rounded. That's the other thing too, is it's, the well-rounded overall profile of it is really pleasant.
It's interesting with water. I'll say it almost like makes the impact on the front of the palate a little bit softer in a way, but then the finish stays every bit as strong. So it's the whole experience changes. The flavors don't change at all to me, but the experience goes from just a big burst of flavor that just rides all the way through the finish to a little bit more of a soft approach on the front end. And then it still ramps up on the finish. I've never had a pick I've never put water in anything and had it do what this did, which is really cool.
Yeah, now I got to add water. I did taste the E.H. Taylor barrel proof, and I'm not wrong. It is, it's on that path.
That E.H. Taylor have a little more oak to it.
Yeah, it definitely had a little more oak. It was a little darker, a little more complex, but yeah, it still reminds me of that.
Yeah, there's, to Paul's point earlier, I think Paul said about that cherry note in there. It is the way that the cherry note is coming through on this. And it feels like there's something else in there too. Cherry and some other fruit that I can't quite put my finger on.
I get like a jammy stewed berries.
Yeah.
Like
that's
a
good
cobbler,
thought.
like a cobbler almost.
Yeah.
And that's my
like that
favorite
note.
fruit note to get on a whiskey is that like cobbler note.
Yeah, me too, Joe.
Top Dog saying it's real cherry, not like a Luden's cough drop. Which, by the way, Luden's cough drops are just candy. That's just candy for kids. Those aren't medicinal at all. But it's not the cherry. It's not that medicinal cherry cough syrup either. It is very much like a real cherry.
It is like cherry with like a buttery pie crust or crescent roll or something. There's a little bit of a nice flaky doughy aspect to it or something.
Oh yeah, like those cherry turnovers.
Yeah.
Nice flaky.
Ooh, yeah,
with like the sugary glaze.
I like that.
Yeah, because there is a lot of sweetness there. A lot of sweetness.
Yeah, that's just a really great pick.
Yeah.
Also, I will say this is kind of cool. I don't think this was so the Green River pick, Lance. You guys set this up through Narav, right?
Yep.
And
Narav actually helped on this one. He was there.
Yeah. And I wish I could have been there. But so this was set up through Narav. And then as most of us, probably all of us know, Bardstown Bourbon Company acquired Green River a while back. I think this was maybe time is a black hole to me. So I don't know if it was early last year, if that's right. That feels right. Maybe it was
feels
before
like it's
that.
been about a year to a year and a half.
Yeah.
That feels right. So separate and apart from this happening, getting set up through Narav, we also got, thanks to Dusty Dan, got a barrel pick at Bardstown Bourbon Company, which will be the last pick of year 2 that we hope we can get out in February for you guys. But that one, it's so cool, I think, to me, to be able to get the Green River and the Bardstown and get to taste them. This feels very unique for a Green River pick to me. And I promise you guys, the Bardstown pick is going to be a very unique pick. It is, I know for a fact, it's not like any Bardstown pick ever because they don't release these barrels ever. It's a non-origin mash bill. There's a lot of origin picks out there, but this is not that mash bill. The only place we could find this mash bill used ever was like a 6% of the blend of Fusion 8. And they had, when we were doing the pick, I asked Vince there, I said, you guys reached out and you said that you had a small number of barrels and that this pick needed to happen quick and you guys wanted these bottled before the end of the year. What is, like, to the extent that you can disclose, what does that mean? And I'll tell this story a little bit more in depth when we get that pick in and we do a tasting of it. But he said they had 15 barrels of this stuff and they didn't know what they were going to do with it. And he tasted them and played around with proof and everything. And he said, I think we should do single barrels on these. And so they had 15 barrels available. We were the second group in to pick. And we didn't taste any of the first 4 barrels that the first group was in picking. So we essentially got front wave, and everything that we discarded, there's only so many barrels and they're going to get rid of all of them. All of them would be picked. So those got pushed down the line for somebody else to pick from. So we were front wave at the really good barrels. At some point, those barrels are just going to start getting recycled through the program.
That's
and now,
awesome.
to be clear, they were all good, but we picked a monster. So
Yeah, it's really good. It's really
Yeah.
good. Do we know the yield, Josh? Was he able to tell you? No,
not yet. I think the
Sure
barrel
will.
proof on it was like 118, 119, maybe.
Perfect.
And
Nice.
it got proofed down to 110. And
Okay.
at 6 years, here's what I'll tell you. I think Wild Turkey typically is around that proof at cast strength. And then when you get a Russell's pick at 110, most of those yield around 180. And this is 6 years instead of like 8 to 10. So I would assume we will have enough for everybody, and we should have quite a few for everyone to get a second bottle if you want one. And if you don't want your second bottle, I want your second bottle.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such it's the most unique
What was
mash
the
bill.
original
And
proof, Josh?
I want to say it was 118 or 119.
Okay.
Kim has the samples, but she could tell us more exactly. But I think it's 118 or 119. I'm almost sure.
yeah, that'll be really, I only had it, I guess at the whatever the proof 118, 119. It'll be great to taste it at 110. And I will tell you guys, like Josh said, if you haven't added water to your Green River, play around with that. I added a few drops. It is really good, man. It opened up and it's really nice with water.
I do think I like it better without water when I'm in that mood of just like, I want to I want to do like a bourbon tasting.
Hmm.
But then if I just want to like throw something in the glass and watch a TV show and just have something good to sip, have a glass that's good to sip, a little bit of water does some good for this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys, make sure you leave questions in chat if you have anything for us. I don't know we have much more tonight to talk about. Lance, are you streaming tonight?
Nope, not streaming tonight. I'm not streaming till end of February. So I'm only doing one a month now. I've got
Gotcha.
too much going on.
I hear you, man.
But I do have an Illini basketball game to watch.
There you go.
Oh, I haven't been on in a while. We had a great end of the college football season. Yes.
Oh God. All right. I'm just going to end the stream. We'll see you guys later.
Are you guys here? It seems like we're breaking up. Maybe some technical difficulties or something.
Go Bucks.
Congratulations, Joe.
Yeah. They did play well. The best team did win.
Yeah.
The best team this year won, let me say.
Yeah, they played well after that one game in the season at the end of the regular season. There was a game at the end of the regular season that was pretty terrible, and then they started playing lights out. Like they could have done that a game earlier. I don't know.
So the Bourbon Engineer asked, has the team looked at Backbone to do a pick? It's on our radar. It has been talked about briefly. It would definitely be an amazing experience for people to come and do the pick there at Backbone. Like that would be very, very cool. It's not currently in our top 4 targets we're going for, but if anything falls through, it could be waiting in the wings. So stay tuned on that. Definitely like what they're doing there. You can get some well-aged stuff for a very good price. So both of those things are good things.
I think that's it, guys.
All right. Yeah, there you go. 4-leaf. Woo! OHIO.
Scrolling back to make sure we didn't miss any questions, and we did not. Bourbon Engineer said #Joe the Neanderthal.
Yeah, it's my whiskey beer.
Coming in nicely. It's coming in nicely.
Beer. Yeah.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, this is great. I'm so glad to be back on with you guys.
Yeah, it's good to see you, man. Congrats again. Thanks to all our members. Thanks for making this possible and taking us into year 3 of this.
It's amazing.
Pretty awesome, guys.
It's amazing. We love you guys.
Yep.
We do. Couldn't do it without you. Thank you guys so much for supporting. We're gonna do some real good this year. I mean, we did last year, and we're tracking very nicely for this year as well. And again, if you're like on the fence about the annual event, I don't know what you get to see at the annual event, separate and apart from the fact that had a couple thoughts hit my head all at once here. Separate and apart from the fact that you're hanging out and you're getting to put faces to names and we're all getting to share pours together. That's amazing. This year at the Saturday night event, it's going to be the premier event. We're going to have the way the bar situation is going to work. It's almost like a bottle share that night at the thing. Like you can bring a bottle and leave it behind the bar, and then you can go up there and get pours of it and things like that. And you can take people up there and get pours from your bottle. And, you can choose how you want to do that. But what you also get to see separate and apart from, just hanging out with friends, the camaraderie, the being able to share really great whiskey together. We're going to have a DJ, some music going. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be, I think it's like catered dinner, like a buffet style, good food. And I think it's like a 5, 6, 7 hours there at the venue for Saturday night. So it's going to be an event separate and apart from all that, but by no means playing second fiddle to any of that. Is what you get to see at the annual event is you get to see the proof of concept of what your support does, because we're presenting checks to charities. We've got representatives there. You can actually just go talk to them. And like the meaning and the gravitas behind what we're doing really comes through. And I think that it can be easy on just a day-to-day basis or a month-to-month basis. You see the charge hit your card or whatever, the bottles show up and you're enjoying good whiskey, and it can feel a little transactional. What we're doing here, all of us together, is anything but transactional. This is making a difference in people's lives. So you guys are a part of that, and we can't thank you enough. And you get to see that at the annual event. So if you're on the fence about coming, this is your call to come and see what this is really all about.
We're going to try to cry a lot less this year, but no promise.
Yeah, it was rough. Year one was rough. It was very emotional. It was awesome. It was amazing.
It was awesome. All right. Well said, Josh. All right. We love you guys. Thanks for everything you do. Thanks for supporting this. And we'll see you on the next stream.